Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a new series that I am launching. And this series is a very special series called Expert Interviews with Ken. This is a series where I basically interview other people who are experts in their own fields, whatever their profession is, and we get a chance to hear their story and what it is they're doing for people. So with that, let's dive into today's guest on Expert Interviews with Ken. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Expert Interviews with Ken. And on today's episode, I have a very special guest. We have Candice D. Madrid, founder of CDM Creative, former corporate creative director, and she has collaborated with over 100 brands and is now building brands for the Kingdom of God as a Kingdom brand developer. I am also going to add to that. She's a Kingdom entrepreneur. She does, she works her business faith-based. So, and I as well, I am faith-based with what I do as well. And so we are both actually Kingdom entrepreneurs. And so with that, I want to turn the microphone over to you, Candice. So let's dive in. So tell us a little bit more about you, exactly what you do for people, exactly what your brand is all about, and let's dive into that.
Yes, well, thank you first, Ken, for having me here. I'm super excited. I even love how we met and you like you said, us both being Kingdom entrepreneurs. So I feel like that's amazing and so grateful for these divine connections.
Mm,
And yeah, I was a corporate designer since 2013, I think, is when I got my internship, but I've been designing since '08, like freelance. While I was in college, I designed, and then the corporate, jobs started in 2013 until this year, actually.
mm,
And so in February, I was let go of a position, and I'm so grateful for it. Like, it totally, I mean, at the beginning it rocked my world, right? I was like, what am I gonna do? But God, it's all God's plan. And so throughout this year, it's been very transformative for me. My relationship with God has gotten so much closer, and um I just I just sat here at my computer one day and was like, you know what, Lord, I give it all to you.
mm,
Like, I'm grateful. Like, he allowed me to be an art director for magazines. So I was an art director for magazines for about almost 6 years. And then I was a creative director for the Western industry for about 4 years. And I mean, I'm like, to me, those my dreams came true. And so the first thing I did was say thank you for allowing me to be able to be in those positions in my career. But I said, you know what? I'm I'm done with that. It's all you now. Like, these talents, these hands, the creativity, it all belongs to you. So you send me the people, you send me the ideas, and let's do this.
right.
And so this year has just been, I mean, just lesson after lesson, breakthrough after breakthrough. Last month was a full breakthrough for me. And that's when I decided to shift from um, just what I was doing to now building my niche, right, is for Kingdom brand companies. So any company that is pushing forward the kingdom of God, like, I am here to help them. Any artist, author, anybody who's creating a brand that's to help, grow God's kingdom, like, I am here to help them develop their brand.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And one of the first questions that comes to my mind is, so let's dive into this real quick. How exactly do you help? kingdom entrepreneurs. What does that look like? So let's say I'm a brand new kingdom entrepreneur. I just launched my brand and company and I saw you out there and I decided to hire you as my coach and brand builder. What does that even look like?
Well, first, I'm going to help you with just making sure that because that's the beauty of this, right? Kingdom brands, they have a mission to serve others. And so just making sure that, because I get it too. I even did it, right? With my company coming out of like CDM Creative, I just started doing stuff and then had to stop and rebuild my foundation. So the first thing I would do is just help make sure that your foundation is there, because like even in the Bible, right, you have to have a foundation, or the first rainstorm, your house is going to collapse.
Yep.
So, and there's a lot that goes into it, but we'll go through a questionnaire. We'll make sure that that because I get it, like everybody uses AI and stuff, and so have I. But just really making sure that the heart is there, because a lot of people get confused with brand and logo, or everybody always thinks say brand, and everybody thinks, oh, the colors and the design and all this stuff. And that's not the brand. The brand is the heartbeat. The brand is your why. So just making sure that that is taken care of first. And then from there, that's when we go on to creating the systems, creating, the structure, and then the messaging, and then the communication, because you have to have the heartbeat. So it's probably it's I know it's like how exactly, but it's, just making sure that I'm there for you to, like I said, making sure the heartbeat is there.
That's awesome. And I totally get that. The heartbeat, it's really, really, really important to zero in on the heartbeat. And when I was building my brand and especially like my website and like all that other stuff, I was grateful that God literally brought me somebody that came through my path. And the interesting part of that is I wasn't even looking for anybody at the time. And when I opened up the conversation with him over Messenger, I actually thought I was talking to a different, so the guy's name is Nate, but I actually thought I was talking to a different Nate. And it wasn't until I was already involved in the conversation where I realized this wasn't the Nate that I thought I was
Oh,
talking to. And I became, it was like too late. So we continued to talk and he kind of started reeling me in, if you will, like, most entrepreneurs do, just reeling me in. We got on a Zoom call together. And like I said, I wasn't looking to hire anybody. I actually ended up talking him down on his price. And then what happened was he began working with me. And to be honest with you, he's the first person that I've come across that actually took the time to get to know me, to get to know my voice, to get to know the heart of what I am. Other people have come across my path and they've done nothing but try to, well, they'll attack the patriotism part of my brand, or they'll attack, whatever. Most of the time it was the patriotism. Do you realize how much you're limiting your audience by having that up there? All this stuff. And, the truth of the matter is I know where I stand with my brand and I know what I want my brand to stand for.
yes.
He actually took the time to get to know me and to get to know that voice, which was amazing to me. And then lo and behold, like he just developed this absolutely beautiful thing through my brand. And so the whole point of that story is one of the things that I saw that he worked really hard to zero in on and the focus was the heart. So, and that's the point. The heart of my brand
So
is,
important.
yeah, the heart of my brand is literally these two things. Number one, punching through the deceptive lies of the food industry out there.
Hmm.
And number two, I stand on truth. not just the gospel truth, but the overall truth. So I
Yes.
expose the lies of the food industry and I tell people what the actual truth is. In turn, what happens is they become empowered. So it basically takes the hypnotic spell that they've been under for so many years, and it literally dismantles it, and it gives them a solid foundation that they can stand on. And also infused in that are Christian principles that then get infused through that. So just in a nutshell, that, for example, is my brand. Now, yes, I've got all the wonderful fonts that come with it and everything else. And I love my fist symbol. You've even made some compliments on my
Mm,
fist symbol. You're like, I
love
want to
it.
see that more. So actually, I've been
Yes.
putting it on more. Because yeah,
Good.
it is something that I do embrace. But so when you're talking about the heart of the brand, I totally get that.
Good. Yes. And it's once you have that, everything else just comes so just easily. It's not, because you know what the messaging is, you know what the heart is, and then you have the logo, which the logo is like clothing the brand, right? And then
Mhm.
that's when it all makes sense. There's even psychology too, with colors and things. So, and that's a whole nother thing. But my goal for all of this is to give people, brands, entrepreneurs, um, like what Nate did for you, to let them know that I'm here to, it's about you. It's not about me. Yes,
Mhm.
I'm the professional. Yes, I have this creative background. Yes, blah, blah, blah. But I want, this is your message. This is your anointing. This is how you're serving others. I'm here to like help you with that brand, right? Because that's your
Right.
baby. And let's help it grow and make sure that we have the heart, that we have the messaging, and then, go from there.
So what got you into this field in the first place?
Oh, graphic design.
Yes.
That I honestly, God. So I grew up in a very small town, like middle of nowhere, West Texas. The town's Morton, if y'all want to look it up, and you'll be like, yeah, there's nothing there. Um, Growing up, I I was always very creative, like did creative writing. I would draw books and all kinds of things. And um, I think my I don't know, like I would just look at commercials or I'd look at magazines, and I remember I'd collage all the time. And I used to always wonder like how did they create that, right? In the
Mm.
magazine or that commercial, like or the billboard. I would always wonder how they created that. And so when I got into high school, um I enjoyed like the yearbook class, and I enjoyed art, and I was in art competitions, and I had some really good teachers too that saw that little promise in me that I didn't even, like I was a small town girl. I didn't know anybody that was a creative or graphic designer. And so I just yeah, I think I was like 16, and I was like, I want to be a graphic designer. And I remember my this is how I know that it was God planted in me, because the high school I graduated from didn't even have an art program. And I went to three different high schools. So I took art my freshman year of high school, which was an accident. And that's kind of where it opened up. They messed up my schedule, so I had to take art. And then my sophomore year, um, I went to Morton High School, and there was a teacher there that I really loved, and she was the one that pushed me into other like art shows and stuff like that. And
Mm.
then my junior senior year, I was in Seagraves, and at the time they didn't have art, but I had such a passion for art, and the school counselor saw that, and so she was like, "Well, um, let's see what we can do." And so I was with another teacher, and anyways, they were able to give me an art credit, and then I took art college classes and then went to college for art. And it's been, I mean, my journey as a creative was not easy. Life happened. I wasn't able to go to college like I wanted to. So I returned back to college um, after I had gotten married, and we were stationed at Valdosta, so in Moody Air Force Base. So I earned my Bachelor's of Fine Arts at Valdosta State University, and I was 28 when I earned my degree. But throughout that whole all those 3 years, I just remember them always saying I was an untraditional student. Like that's what it was on like, the paperwork,
Interesting.
untraditional student. And in which I was, right? Because like there was all these young kids running around. And I'm like, I had just had a kid, I was married, and so I felt very untraditional. But but I did it. I got through it. I mean, so the schooling, I mean, life was kicking my butt in the background, but I was like, my degree was everything to me. Getting that, fine arts and art was everything to me. So then yeah, I went through divorce. Like it was rough when I graduated
Wow.
college. Both my grandparents passed that same year, and they're the ones that raised me. So it was like losing my parents. And I almost didn't graduate because I was in like a pretty deep depression. Like I just wanted to like I was getting a divorce, my grandparents passed away. I was just like, I don't even care. But I through God and my and other family, they were like, no, you need to finish. And so I walked the stage, and then I ended up moving to Minnesota and got an internship there with a editorial publication place, and that's what got me into print publication. And then a year later, I couldn't find anything in the Minneapolis area. So I ended up moving back to Texas to be near family mostly. And then that's when I got on with Morris Media. And I really feel like that's really where the career started for me, just becoming I was a production assistant for print and then an art director for magazines.
Hmm. That is an amazing story. And there's actually a part of that story that I had no clue about. So, you went through a divorce in college.
Yeah, I got married pretty young. I was 21 um, when I got married, and he's active Air Force. So we moved to Georgia, and then I had a daughter. And so my oldest, I went back into college. I was going like I was going to junior colleges, and then I had her and took like a little, like a probably about I think a semester off, and then went back and so yeah, during my whole university, I was a mom, a wife, and obviously the marriage wasn't the best during that time. But yeah, I really fought hard for that degree.
So through the bumps and bruises, through everything, you have persevered and you have made it to the spot where you are today. And now you are experiencing God's actual calling on your life and, pursuing that particular goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. So in 2019, the magazine that I was an art director for, the brand went under. And so all of us got laid off that worked for that brand. And I remember how like devastated I was because I really like the art director title, like I almost like infused with it, if that made sense. So like whenever I lost that job, it felt like I lost myself because I felt like, well, what am I now? I don't have this job or this title or whatever. And so that year was a very transformative year for me too. Um, because we happened to be living in Milshie, which is a small town. I had an accident, and so my husband had talked me into like we need to move near family. So I lost my job, and now I'm in this tiny town. I'm like, what am I gonna? I'm a creative director, like art director. What am I gonna do in a small town?
Mm,
And I ended up teaching. So I taught high school. So I taught the career technical education for graphic design and photography and yearbook. And I had no idea that I could teach. And that year too was just wow. Like I remember the second week of like the job on the job, I was like, what I changed my mind. Like, y'all, if y'all know a teacher, y'all better hug a teacher because I learned so much. They do so much. Like I worked 6 days a week. Like, it
hmm
was wild. But those good teachers, it really truly is the love because I created a an amazing culture and environment for my students and they taught me so much. I mean, I was over here working in the corporate world, but I learned more about managing in that 1 year with those 96 students than the 6, 7 years of the corporate, world. I learned so much. And I'm not just managing projects, but like managing hearts,
hmm
like creatives, like people, because you have to be very careful how you speak, especially to a teenager or somebody who's creating something. Because one negative thing and like they'll shut down and
mm
there'll be
mm.
this wall and that's it. So I had to be very careful. And I knew that already just because I'm a creative and then that they're kids, but um it was it tested me a lot.
Here's what I see through that. I mean, I don't want to interrupt the flow here,
Mm,
but here's what I see through that. So, I mean, I just see God just leading you through this journey. And it's like, okay, I'm going to bring you over here now. You're going to become a teacher and you are going to learn these skills over here because you are then going to take those skills that you learned over here and you're going to use those skills over here.
yes.
So I'm watching as God is taking you through this journey of learning and stuff like that. And I'm seeing that teaching part of it, even though it seems like it was interesting and a little scary in the beginning, like what the heck, I don't know anything about teaching, you know?
Yes.
And then look at what God did. Look at what God did in you and through you because of that.
Yeah, seriously. Like I created the whole curriculum. I didn't have a book. I was the book. And I did it. Here's the cool thing about that. I then started talk or speaking at a university, ENMU, at their MediaCon because of my background. So I did some speaking for them, which was really cool to do. But what I'm the most proud of is that I took these students who had never even touched Adobe products and taught them how to design. And we got into some competitions, and there was one competition where they cleaned house, like first, second, third place, for their design work. And for me, truly, I didn't treat them like, to me, it wasn't because all I knew was how to work in a corporate environment. So I didn't really treat them like students. To me, it was like I was training them as a creative director would train a new designer. And so that's how I would treat them. And some of the students still like reach out to me and I created a lot of amazing relationships with those kids. Like I did some of their senior pictures as well, and
Mm,
even with their parents. And um, I really do feel like at the beginning, because a lot of those kids came into the class and were like, oh, this is just a gaff off class. Like, we're not going to do anything. Well, they learned really quickly that I was there to teach them something. And so it was really amazing. Just like, I think it was after 4 months, they really started to open up and it was so much fun. I mean, I had a blast. I learned so much. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't just teach, but I learned
Mm.
so much from them.
And there's something that I want people to hear in this, in your story as you were explaining your teaching experience. Notice that Candice said that she had no book to go by. Notice that Candice said that she created the curriculum herself. I think that speaks volumes to the expert that Candice is and what she does. I just wanted to make a note to those listening here. All right, continue.
No, that's so true. I think I needed to hear that too, because I think that we all get, especially when we're entrepreneurs, right? And we get into building or standing in our own authority. Do we have enough authority? Like, and what for me has been hard is because I'm like, well, I don't have all the followers, or people don't know me, or am I, you know what I mean? What am I doing here? Am I should I really be doing this?
Mm.
And but today, like honestly, today has even been a transformative day for me. I just told myself, just do it, just get out there. I actually just put a new little like reintroduce myself video on my Facebook page for CDM Creative because this is what I mean exactly. Like I taught, career classes without a book. I was the book I'm still that book. And now I'm that book for other kingdom you know, brand
Entrepreneurs.
builders.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So, what would be, give me three main things that you would like to give to those who are listening to this video, suggestions for anyone working on their own brands or designs. Give three main things that they can be focusing on right now.
Um really, let me write them down before they fall out of my head.
Oh, I totally get that. Yeah, write them down because midway through you trying to say it, guess what? You lose the other ones. Been there, done that.
First and foremost is, and you hear anybody who understands how to build a brand, you hear every single one of us say, what's your why? Why
Mm,
are you doing this?
mm,
You know, and if it's to make money, don't do it then. Don't even waste your time. Seriously, if it's to make money, that's not what it should be about. Your why should be how are you serving others? What is your product or your service doing that's, you know, pushing yourself forward? What is your brand doing? For me, of course, I'm going to ask to push the kingdom of God forward, you know?
yes.
So definitely your why and being honest with yourself, not going on AI and asking it to do it for you or, but like sitting with yourself and and getting that answer. Number two would be community. You have to have a community to build anything, right? So, and then having not just the community that you're um, selling to or giving the message to or whatever, but having a small community of close knit friends, people that are other entrepreneurs who are going through what you're going through, who are at the level you are at or a level above, because you need those people that are the level above for um, advice. And when I say having those close entrepreneur friends, not just a coach, but like an actual like friend that is there. you know what I mean, going through what you're going through, and that you fully trust and that you can encourage each other, because encouragement is so, so important.
Mm,
And the third thing would be authority. Understanding that you don't need a ton of followers, that you don't need your best friend, to, oh, you're doing a job. The authority comes straight from God. Once you stop thinking about what everybody else is doing, or, you know, is the business world, is there too many, or is a market world, is there too many people doing what I want to do? Da, da, da. Once you stop thinking about all of that stuff and realizing that your authority comes straight from God, and there is nobody on this planet like
mm.
you take that and you run with it and you create what God has put on your heart to create. Those are the three.
Those are powerful. Those are really, really powerful. So through that entire journey, I mean, so there's one thing that I want to speak into that. So know your core reason for building a business and for starting a brand, starting a company, your core reason should not be to make money. It shouldn't be about money. But I definitely want to place a little bit of a balance on that and go, but as you're starting a business, it is, there's a large aspect that is going to be about the money. But I think what Candice is trying to say here is I think she is trying to say that your heart for wanting to start the business must be in a place of you want to help people. Same as my heart is in a place to where I want to set people free from the lies of this industry that has taken the freedom from them from so many years and made them sick, stuck, and overweight. I want to give the power back to the people, and I want them to experience the freedom that they can have, that they don't know has been taken away from them.
Yes.
A lot of people are out there thinking that they're making healthy choices. A lot of people are, in the store buying things. They're, reading the front of things and, oh, this looks healthy. This looks great. And, their heart's in the right place. But what they don't know is a lot of times they're being deceived by the marketing companies. And that is what I help to expose for people. So just an example. That's my heart in it. Do I want to make money with it too? Absolutely. But my heart is there first. And so I think that's the point that Candice is making there. I just kind of wanted to bring a little bit more clarity when it comes to the money thing, because I know that that's a topic that often gets twisted around and miscrewed and all this other stuff. So I just wanted to bring clarity to
Yeah.
that.
Well, and then I want to say on that topic too, the reason why I say it so boldly like that is because when you focus on the money, you can get discouraged very quickly. Like
Yes.
very quickly. So like you're starting this business, you've invested in yourself by learning other things, by taking courses, by having a coach, and then if you focus on the money and it's not coming in, you could get discouraged very quickly. And so that's what, when I'm saying if you're doing it for money, it's, it's not going to last very long, because you have to push past that and understand, what you're doing, because when you focus on the heart and what you're doing and how you're serving people,
Mhm.
that's going to get you through those hard moments, you know?
Yes, exactly. Here's something else I'll add to that too, you guys,
Yeah.
because I've learned from this. Um, So I would, and this has been a recent lesson of mine. And so I have learned to change my mindset and how I speak these kind of things. And so here's what I'm talking about. Here's my point. Don't let it be, when am I going to get my first client? When am I going to get my first client? When am I going to get my first, or when am I going to get more people? When am I going to get more? Don't let it be that. Instead, trust God with bringing you the people
Yes.
and change your heart to where are the people that I can help?
Oh, I love that.
Who is the next person that I get to help?
Mhm.
My
Yes.
clients need my help. So change the way you're approaching that, change the mindset on the way you're approaching
Yes.
that out of the desperation of, I need my first client, because in that desperation, you are fixated on the money part of it. And it can be very easy to get fixated on the money part about it, especially if you're at a place where you're a little financially tight and things are
Yeah.
kind of getting tight and crazy. It's very easy to focus on the money part of it.
Mhm.
And even, and I'd be lying if I said I've mastered that. It's a constant battle to make sure that you stay focused
Yeah.
on the right things. One other thing that I'm going to speak into on that too. It's really easy as an entrepreneur, especially starting out. It's really easy as an entrepreneur to look at other entrepreneurs in your own niche and see them succeed. And it's really easy to take a scarcity mindset with that and think, oh my gosh, it's like a pie, and pieces of the pie keep getting taken away as you're seeing other people succeed around you. And guess what? You're not where you want to be. And, clients aren't coming or whatever that is. And it's really easy to kind of look at it as like, my niche is getting saturated. All right. And then you start
Aw.
believing all these thoughts and everything else. But here's the reminder that I want to give. And I have this to thank to my coach, Francine, for. She is the one that opened my eyes to this particular concept, which I think is just powerful and brilliant. So, number one, God did not create, um, and God did not create a pie shop. He did not create a garden of lack. He created a
Mhm.
garden of abundance. You, your God is not an owner of a pie shop. He is an owner of a God. He is an owner of a garden of abundance. Here's what I mean by that. Take an apple. You start biting into an apple and you get to the center. What's in the center?
See,
The seeds. What happens when you plant those seeds?
grows a tree.
It grows a tree. What happens eventually with that tree? It grows more apples, more seeds. You have a God of abundance right at your
Amen.
doorstep. And I just want, so anybody out there, maybe that's just beginning their journey, I want to encourage you with that. And the other thing, and I just talked about this at length on the last interview I did with actually my co-host for the Told Truth Show, Aldwin, but with these social media algorithms that are out there, I'm also going to speak into this. With these social media algorithms that are out there, they are very frustrating. They are not built for we, the people. They are built for the companies. They want you to spend money on advertising. Just know that. But also know that there's only one algorithm that you need to trust and have faith in, and that's God's algorithm. Know that He's got your back. Know that He will bring you the people. The proof of that is, look, yesterday morning, I woke up, I checked my inbox. What was in my inbox? A brand new person that had signed into my boot camp. Shortly after that, what happened? Somebody called me out of the blue. I haven't talked to her in like 2.5 years. Still a good friend, but we just kind of,
Yeah,
things
life.
happen, life. She calls me out of the blue. Had an hour conversation with her. She just has some
Mm.
questions for me. She knows I'm a coach. She knows I've done deep research. She knows I know all the things. And so she was asking me questions. While I was on the phone with her, and I didn't think she was going to sign up right then and there. While I was on the phone with her, I shared with her my just a little bit about my boot camp and everything. I even shared with her the link because she was talking about, she's like, my husband needs to join your boot camp. But the unexpected happened. While I was on the phone with her, she signed up right then and there for my boot camp. I didn't even know she was doing that. She just happened to say, and midway through a conversation that we were having, as she was explaining something for a question that I asked her, She's like, oh yeah, and I'm going through the checkout process. And I'm like sitting there, what? You're signing up now? And so this is what I mean by trust God with your algorithm. Neither one of these two people came from my social media algorithm.
Yes, yes. Yes, exactly. And that's where the whole don't focus on money too, because God provides. I mean, hello, if he provides for the birds and all the creatures, he knows what we need. And y'all, even for me, like I said, I was let go of my corporate position in February. So I went from making a certain amount of money to zero.
Mm,
And I, I, I finally there. Don't get me wrong. Like there's been days where, or for instance, especially as a mother, I've got two girls. My oldest had her braces removed, and there's some more work that needed to be done that cost more money, and I wanted to cry, but I was like, you know what? I don't know. I finally just had to say, it is none of my business, God, how you're going to do this, but you're going to figure it out. It's none of my business. Tell me why the next week when I went to a dental appointment, they were like, well, I believe we overcharged, but we're not sure yet. And then they gave me like three-fourths of it back.
mm.
Like, hello. I mean, and it's hard. It really is to fully, fully let go. I get it because we're so weak. We want to be in control. But when
Mm.
you truly, fully let go and just give it to God, you have to put action too, though. Like, don't get me wrong. You can't just sit back and say, okay, figure it out. Like, but when you give it to God and you are obedient and you're walking in the ways He tells you to walk, it will all work out. It's amazing.
It will, and it's crazy. So the first person that signed up on, yesterday morning, this is a guy from church, and
Yeah.
I just happened to be talking with them. I've known him for a while. And he was just asking me questions, and I was just like, you should check out my boot camp. So I shared with him my link. I didn't think he'd sign up for like another couple of weeks because he was telling me how his schedule is just busy and he's being very protective of his schedule right now. So I was thinking, okay, so sometime in the future he'll probably, come on in. Imagine my surprise when I opened up my inbox and there was
There he is.
I was like, okay, Lord, what the heck are you doing? This is awesome. So again,
I love it.
just to reiterate. Now, the last question that I want to ask you in closing, is, you know, if you can turn back time to, let's say, before you entered in college, what are two things that you would say to that person? Knowing everything you know now in your journey, what are two things you would say to that person going into college and in the midst of starting to experience the divorce and all of that other stuff and everything that came with it, the discouragement, the deaths, all of that. What are two things that you, with everything you know now, would say to that person?
I would say it twice. Read your Bible.
Mm. And expound on that a little bit. What are some things that you've learned from that particular journey from reading the Bible? What are some powerful verses that God has brought to you that have been
Oh
your
God,
life-changing
there's so
verses
many.
that have helped you? What are those?
There are so many. So during that moment, gosh, it's so sad. During that moment, I um I went through a lot. Like I ugh, I put myself through a lot too. But here's the thing, whenever you're going through some really ugly hardships, that's a door, right? That's a door the enemy can get in. because he sees you're weak. He sees that, you're wanting to give up. And so telling myself to read the Bible, um, even in this past year, you know, there's I think one of the hardest scriptures, I can't remember it exactly off the top of my head, but there's a scripture. Oh, it's right here in front of me. James 1:2. My fellow believers, when it seems as though you are facing nothing but difficulties, see it as an invaluable opportunity to experience the greatest joy that you can. I mean,
Mm,
how hard is it to hear that though, right?
yes.
Like, I'm supposed to feel joy when I'm going through this hard moment. But for me, like this year, like when I lost the job, I mean, I'm a mom. I moved my family across Texas for this job. And then they were just like, bye, like no severance, like just, we're done. I was like, what am I, like, what? And, but I began to focus on the love that, like, I would say I'm so wealthy. Look at my beautiful husband, my beautiful daughters, you know what I mean? Especially the kids, because they don't see what you're carrying as an adult or as a parent. And so they're just loving life and enjoying everything. And I'm tearing up because when when we have true faith, like, because also in the Bible it says to come to me like children, to understand like that I'm your father and that I will give you everything. Well,
Mm,
if you think of like a 2-year-old, is that 2-year-old praying to mom and dad, feed me, feed me? No, that 2-year-old they know mom and dad are going to feed them. They know that they're going to be taken care of, that they're going to be clothed. That's the type of faith that we're called to have, you know? And I'm just, and I'm still, learning. I'm still learning. And I'm always going to be a student, um, of God. But like going back to authority, Luke 10:19 um speaks about authority. I mean, there's so many scriptures. um, but I would say, yeah, I think right now for me, the main one would be James 1:2, just because it's hard to even, as people going through this life to find joy. But there are things in our life that, we need to focus on.
mm,
Especially if you're a family man, focus on your wife and your children. And, you know, yeah, you might not be able to do the things that you once did, but you could take your kids out to a park, make some sandwiches, go have a picnic. I feel
yes.
like in society we focus so much on which you'll understand this, what the world tells us is good, what the world tells us, you know, um, to eat or whatever. But you can go buy some fresh fruit, go to a park, go by and sit by a lake and eat fresh fruit with your family. And that right there is a beautiful memory, you
Mm,
know?
yes. That's so powerful. So very powerful. I didn't mean to hit a soft spot there.
No, not
Apparently,
at all. I think that, when I mean, I'm human,
yeah.
and I have so much love for God, and I'm so blessed. I'm
Yes.
so blessed. And I'm so
Abs-
grateful to meet people like you in my life who have this fire. You encourage me, the fire that you have to bring people the truth. And like, because you keep saying, set them free, set them free. And
mm,
that's what this book is. The Bible, it's here to set you free.
exactly. Whew. Powerful, powerful, powerful. You guys, this has been one powerful interview. So Wow. So, in closing, are there any last words before we start wrapping up that you would like to give to those who are listening?
Um, I don't know if I mentioned this, but y'all should read your Bible. I'm just kidding.
You did.
I have a little, I have a little goop. But I know honestly, and I know that because I know when I first started, it was like where do I even start? What do I do? There is, and I'll share the book with you. There's actually a devotional book that I read. It like prompts you to read a scripture and then it kind of gives like a summary for it.
Mm,
Um, but I'll send you the links if you want to share. But there is
yes.
a devotional book. I don't have it up here with me, but and that's what I do. I just read that in the morning with the prompt, like what it tells me to read. And then sometimes I feel like I need a little bit more, so I'll read on or I'll flip through my Bible a little bit more. So, but no, honestly, starting your day that way, instead of picking up the phone and going, just 10 minutes,
Mm,
because every day is a new day. So you need your daily bread. You can't live off of the bread from yesterday or from Sunday because that's still bread, right? So you need the daily word every day. And just trust me when I say when you begin to do that, your life is just, I mean, the
powerful,
mind shifts.
powerful things happen. I'm also going to
Mhm.
share right here as we're closing here is listen, you guys, if you're a Christian and you're just starting off in your business journey here, and you're wondering how to make God part of your brand, then let me just say this to you: ask Him and continue asking,
Mm.
continue seeking Him on that. Be patient with the process. It may not come
Yes.
to you overnight. Be patient with the process. Look, when I first developed my brand and company back in 2020, yeah, I was a Christian and all the things and all of that. But I just jumped into it and just started building my brand and started building my company and started building that out, finding my niche and all that other stuff. There was prayer involved. But it wasn't until about 9 months ago, roughly, that I really started seeking, okay, Lord, how do I make you part of my brand? Because
Mm.
I started seeing more Christian entrepreneurs. And, I just started seeking that and asking for that and praying for that and seeking over and over again. Lo and behold, eventually, so
Yeah.
it didn't happen right away, but lo and behold, eventually, God brought me a faith-based kingdom entrepreneur coach who then has helped me zero in further on my brand and bring in some of those faith-based aspects of my brand. And,
Yes.
hey, I'm still working out some kinks on how to include and what to include and different things like that. But God has been very, very faithful with that. And something else has changed during that journey. My devotional life has gotten a lot stronger. The way I seek Him has gotten a lot stronger. And I have my coach Francine to thank for that. Um,
It's beautiful.
but be patient, seek, ask, and be patient. Wait on God and let Him bring those things to you on how to include that into your brand. And I just say that because, that was a journey for me. And, I had to be patient with it. A lot of things have happened in this last year, a lot of different shifts and changes, nothing crazy major, but a lot of different shifts in my brand and in the direction that I'm heading, all the way down to December 4th, 2003. So the end of last year, I got my main Facebook account hacked. I still haven't gotten
Mm.
it back. And that was a clear sign to me to go in a different direction with what I was doing and some of the stuff I was putting out.
That
A
happened to
lot,
me too.
yes, a lot of
Right before the
changes.
shift. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of changes have happened since then. And God has just been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. So, all that to say, you guys, as we are getting ready to wrap up and close, seek God, trust Him, ask Him. and be patient. Trust him with the algorithm.
Yes.
Just know that in the midst of all the frustrating social media algorithms, because we all know that they are absolutely frustrating, and frustrating is not the word I want to use. Um, just being quite transparent and honest. Yeah, that algorithm is trash. That's not the word I want to use, but that's a better word. Um, So, and I'm speaking of this, the regular social media algorithms. They are frustrating. We know, we get it.
Yes, yes.
But remember, the main algorithm is God. Like he's got your back. He will bring you the people. Not right away, maybe. That all depends on the journey that he wants to take you on. And
Yes.
you must embrace that journey as well and learn. So, with that, in closing, Candice, how can people reach out to you and connect with you?
Awesome. Well, I am on Facebook and I actually just started a new group today called Kingdom Brand Builders. So I'll give you the link to that. I would love to just I'm wanting to create a group so that I could, teach more about building brands and things like that and our messaging. So I'll definitely share that with you. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I have a website. But yeah, I'll share all those links with you so you can share for
Yes,
others.
absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely share those with me. And I will be including those in the show notes. So in the description below this video, you will see the different ways you can connect with her, including the link to the new group that she has just
Yay.
launched. And so that will all be in the description below when this video gets uploaded to
Yay.
YouTube. And so let me end this video with just a little bit about me as well and how you can connect with me. I've
Yay.
dropped lots of little nuggets through this particular interview about my boot camp and everything else. So I'm just going to speak briefly on that really quick before I do that. So if you haven't caught on to it already, I am unapologetically a faith-based weight loss coach. And I empower my clients to master their weight and health goals through a 7-part framework and applying Christian principles that ignites them to achieve mastery and sustainably keeping their weight off for life once they've lost it. I have been able to keep my weight off for 6+ years now, and that's what I teach other people how to do, all without a diet and how to make that sustainable. So I have created a powerful mini bootcamp series. I'm giving away my 3 secrets to being able to break free from the sugar addictions, to be able to break free from those nasty snacking habits, to be able to break free from that hunger that you might be having a problem with, to be able to break free from the constant losing, gaining, all the things. So, I mean, pick one of those. If that is you, this is for you for sure. And I'm empowering people to be able to keep the weight off for life, all in 3 short one-on-one sessions with me. You're going to be equipped with an empowered mindset shift. You're going to be equipped to spot the food industry lies and avoid the common pitfalls. You will also be equipped to see past the deceptive marketing that these companies are constantly throwing at you on their packaging and all of that stuff. Like I alluded to earlier in this interview, you might be thinking that you're making all the right choices at the store, but in the background, the scale's not moving. You're still having hunger issues and you keep gaining the weight back. I help you to literally see past that deceptive marketing, which then is going to start to solve all those issues. All of this, you guys, in just 2.5 week span. I include in-depth booklets, which you get to keep for each session. You get the recordings for each session and all of that. And I gave a insider look to a good friend of mine, spent like 7-10 minutes on a Zoom call with her. And I gave her an insider look on the boot camp. And then at the end, I asked her, I said, Daniela, how much would you think you would spend on something like this? Her words, not mine. She said $1,000. Imagine her surprise when I told her my boot camp's only $75. You guys, you've got nothing to lose. So the link to my boot camp is going to be also in the description below. sign up for that boot camp. The next group of people that I am looking to work with, the spots are filling up. And I even shared some of that on today's episode too. The people are coming from all directions right now. And I'm going, wow, Lord. So if you want to be included in the next group of people that I work with, sign up now. I promise you. This is my promise to you. And I will give you back the $75 if you are not satisfied through this boot camp and you don't feel empowered afterwards. That is my guarantee that you will come away with enough of a foundation and knowledge. You will never be moved by the industry fad diets or lies ever again. You will have a solid ground you can stand on. That is my guarantee and promise to you. All right. So with that, I know this is a little bit last minute, Candice, but I've got to ask you, do you have a favorite quote that you would like to share?
A favorite quote. Um,
Yeah, I got you
I
by
guess
surprise.
I know. I mean, because I literally have it on my phone. Like
Ah, she's
I
got
can
one.
do,
She's prepared. I love
I
it.
got, I got it on my phone. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which is Philippians 4:13.
That is a great one. That is a really great
Yeah.
one. Here's the one I'm going to use. This one is not a Bible verse, but this is one that I feel is just really, really powerful. And it's by somebody who I really deem as a hero. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. And that is by Donald J. Trump.
Oh, well, I
So,
also love because if you break impossible apart, I'm possible.
yes, yes, I love that. That is great. All right, you guys. Well, you have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world and what time of day you're listening to. And that wraps up this episode of Expert Interviews with Ken. I will see you on the next one. Talk to you guys later.